2017, Colorado. Kelsey Berreth just gave birth to a beautiful young daughter with her husband, Patrick Frazee. Kelsey was a dedicated flight instructor who was living a great life. From the outside, it appeared they were building a future, yet Kelsey and Patrick both lived separately and had their own apartments. It was a lifestyle that worked for them, or so it seemed to the outside world. There was a dark secret she was entirely unaware of. Patrick was having an affair since 2016 or before with a woman named Krystal Kenney. They had known each other for decades, and Krystal was madly in love with Patrick. Patrick wanted to be with Krystal, but he was already married to Kelsey and had a daughter. After their marriage, they didn't have much chemistry, and Kelsey was always busy with her demanding flight instructor job. Families often noticed tension in between their relationship, but nobody thought of it as serious. It was just dismissed as a regular husband and wife quarrel. But Patrick had a secret. He was planning to kill Kelsey to make room for the woman he was now in love with. He didn't care about Kelsey, and he didn't care about the child he had with her. November 2018. It was Thanksgiving, and both Kelsey and Patrick were invited to Kelsey's parents' house. It was evening, and they were having dinner while all were celebrating. Kelsey's mom described there was a noticeable coldness between both husband and wife, but she didn't take much of it at the time. While eating, they got into an argument and Patrick left, saying he needed to go to work. Kelsey stayed with her parents and was supposed to leave at night. The next day, Kelsey didn't arrive at her flight instructing job. Her employer called her phone, but it was sent to voicemail. Kelsey had a busy schedule, so nobody thought much of it, but as time passed and Kelsey remained missing, the dread began to set in. Kelsey's mom called Patrick about her whereabouts, but he claimed that she had left with her car and he had no idea where she was. The search started and they put up a reward of $25,000 for whoever could find Kelsey. For several days, there were no signs of her. Soon, the investigation started. Patrick kept his word that he didn't have an idea of where Kelsey was, but detectives felt something was deeply wrong about this case. Kelsey was supposed to be at home after she left her parents' house. She hadn't mentioned going anywhere, and suspiciously her phone was off. Police started to trace her phone. They found her phone had been active after her disappearance and was used to send a message to her workplace saying she was going somewhere and wouldn't be at work. But her last location was near Patrick's home. They quickly ran to gather footage of the area and found Patrick had been spotted driving Kelsey's car, which made Patrick the prime suspect in the disappearance of his wife. This is when things took a turn. Krystal appeared and said Patrick had killed Kelsey. Everyone was shocked. Upon explaining, Krystal admitted they were in a sexual relationship since 2016, and during this time, Patrick had mentioned multiple times the idea of killing Kelsey. She said Patrick initially convinced her to kill Kelsey so they could get married. She always refused. In her own words, she said Patrick asked her to drug Kelsey's coffee and kill her with a metal pipe. Kelsey had last contacted Patrick to hand over their daughter to him. The exchange occurred in an alleyway near Woodland Park. Later, a neighbor of Kelsey's said he had seen someone matching Patrick's description entering Kelsey's home, which directly contradicted his statement. What happened in that apartment is beyond comprehension. Investigators revealed that Patrick had blindfolded Kelsey and made her sit down. He then brought a scented candle and asked her to smell it. She was confused but laughed, going along with it. It was her last laugh. Patrick brought a baseball bat and hit her on the head multiple times until she was no longer alive. Blood spattered everywhere, all while his daughter was right there. After killing his wife, he washed his hands and called Krystal, telling her to come to Colorado because she had a mess to clean up. She said she understood in an instant that he had killed Kelsey. Krystal told her friend to stay at her home as she would be away for a friend's birthday party in Colorado. Kenney brought bleach, gloves, and other cleaning supplies from Idaho to Colorado to clean up what Patrick described as a mess at Kelsey's apartment. Krystal said when she entered, it was a terrifying scene. The walls were covered in blood. She found Kelsey's tooth that had been knocked over when Kelsey was killed. Krystal said it took her hours to clean everything and stated that their daughter's toys were also covered in blood, which indicated that he had killed Kelsey in front of their child. Krystal started crying, stating she had no intention of doing it, but he manipulated her. After cleaning, they went to Cripple Creek, where Patrick had hidden Kelsey's body in a tote bag. All three of their phones connected to the same tower, which confirmed this. They then brought the body home to Patrick's property and put it in a suitcase along with the bat used to kill Kelsey and some of her other items. Using motor oil, 5 gallons of gasoline, and wood, they burned everything, but they did not burn Kelsey's cell phone. Patrick wanted Krystal to take Kelsey's body back to Idaho, but she refused. She told investigators that she never saw Kelsey's body, but Patrick said it was in the suitcase. Kenney said she believed she might have seen a human body in the fire after the suitcase melted. He also gave Krystal Kelsey's cell phone, which Kenney told investigators she used in Woodland Park, Grand Junction, Utah, and Idaho as she traveled back home, which lined up with cell tower records from the night of the 24th and the morning of the 25th. The wheels of justice began to turn with a weight that the small town of Woodland Park had never felt before. The evidence, digital, physical, and testimonial, was mounting, creating an inescapable trap for Patrick Frazee. The trial that followed wasn't just a legal proceeding, it was an autopsy of a soul. For the first time in Frazee's murder trial, Kenney took to the witness stand Wednesday to share her testimony. In court, she recounted the cleanup of the alleged murder scene at Berreth's condo. As she recalled the plot, planning, cleanup, and Frazee's own recount of the murder and aftermath, she broke down several times and cried. Earlier in the day, a specialist with the FBI's cellular analysis team explained his analysis of the cell records for the phones belonging to Frazee, Berreth, and Kenney. The prosecution did not finish interviewing her before court adjourned for the day. On day 5 of the trial, the defense had the chance to question why Kenney never alerted authorities, or anybody else, to Frazee's murder plot. Despite multiple opportunities, she didn't tell police, the FBI, her friends, or her family. The defense confirmed with her. They also questioned her about how she was able to receive a plea deal before giving a formal statement to investigators. The defense questioned her about each part of the murder plot, confirming that each time she did not tell anybody of the planned or alleged crime. She could have faced up to 144 years in prison for attempted murder, but would instead face a maximum of 3 years, the defense noted as Kenney started to cry. She had testified earlier that she was coming forward now because Berreth's family deserved to know, but the defense questioned why she didn't notify her family any time between November 22nd and December 20th. She was sentenced for 3 years. The courtroom atmosphere was suffocating. Every time Krystal Kenney spoke about the cleanup, you could see the jury lean in. They weren't just hearing about a crime, they were hearing about a total lack of human decency. The defense tried to paint Kenney as just as guilty as Patrick, arguing that she was a willing participant who only started talking when she realized she was going to get caught. It was a brutal back and forth, but the physical evidence, the blood-soaked toys, the burned suitcase, and the pings on those cell towers was simply too much for the jury to ignore. When the verdict finally came down, it wasn't a surprise, but it was a relief. Patrick Frazee was found guilty of first-degree murder, solicitation to commit murder, and tampering with a deceased human body. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 156 years. The judge didn't hold back, calling the crime cruel, heinous, and depraved. As the sentence was read, Frazee sat there, showing absolutely no emotion, the same coldness that had defined his relationship with Kelsey from the very beginning. But the real tragedy wasn't the sentence. It was the fact that Kelsey's young daughter will grow up knowing that her father destroyed her mother's life. The trial revealed that while Krystal Kenney got her plea deal, she would forever be the person who cleaned up the blood of a woman she didn't even know, just because she was madly in love with a man who viewed other people as disposable objects. If you like stories like this, subscribe. Also drop a case you want me to cover.